Lanre Coaching Academy, and having a catalytic effect, facilitating the positive change of individuals and organizations that seek his services. He runs several programs, which I encourage anyone who's interested to sign on. I think we have some of his resources here, so please, after service, do engage his materials. But I first met him over 10 or so years ago at the platform. That's the very first time I heard him speak. And it was such an amazing wealth of wisdom that he dished out at that particular event. So, with the LifePointe Church welcome, I would like for you to join me in celebrating and welcoming to the stage Mr. Lanre Olusola.
Fantastic. So, we've prayed. Everybody say we've prayed. Now it's time to hear the word. So this morning I want to talk to you about health and well-being. Everybody turn to your neighbor and say health and well-being. Turn to your other neighbor and say health and well-being. But the center of everything that I'm going to be talking about today is stress. So help me ask your neighbor, are you stressed? What was the answer? Yes. So great health is the same as total well-being or 100% wellness. And so we need to ask ourselves, is great health or wellness, is it possible? Please let me ask your neighbor, great health or total 100% wellness, is it possible? So they're going to be scrolling down. Just keep going. So what does 100% wellness or great health, what does it mean? So wellness is spelled W-E-L-L-N-E-S-S. So if you want to have great health or 100% wellness, then you need to watch your weight. Everybody say watch your weight. You need to be fit. Everybody say you need to be fit. And then you need to get rid of wrong beliefs. The second aspect of total wellness or great health is your emotions and your moods. And as I go further, you would understand it. The third dimension is love. Everybody say love. Yes, love and fun. The fourth dimension is life harmony, life balance, knowing yourself, having self or life mastery. The next dimension is your nutrition and your diet. And then your environmental interactions, interpretations, and influence. The last two are the two S's. Stress, a sedentary lifestyle which is based on sitting too much, and lack of stretching. And the last one is sex, sexuality, safety, security, self-esteem, and spirituality. I'm going to tie all of them because it is impossible for you to have great health or 100% wellness without holistically looking at all of those things that I've highlighted. So stress is the enemy of 100% wellness or great health. The WHO declared that 80 to 90% of health challenges are preventable, and they account for approximately 90% of healthcare costs on individuals, organizations, nations, whilst 95% of these are stress-related. Did you hear me? 95% of disease are related to stress. Bruce Lipton, a cellular biologist, he said that 95% of disease are caused by stress, and 100% of stress is caused by wrong beliefs, which means that 95% of disease is caused by wrong beliefs, and wrong beliefs are the source of all stress. Stress from conflict, external, relational, and internal conflict increases a person's risk of health problems, including cardiovascular diseases, psychological disorders, and workplace injuries. Work-related stress causes ill health, reduces productivity, poor motivation, and increases job incidents and accidents, the WHO. A recent study in preventive medicine indicates that prolonged exposure to work-related stress brings about and causes cancer, including lungs, colon, stomach, and rectal cancer. Turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor, Shetigbo. In fact, some jobs, life-threatening jobs, like working in the army, working in the police, working in the fire services, and other life-threatening jobs, they cause serious stress. Working under a very difficult, abusive boss also causes unprecedented stress. So, this thing that we're talking about, stress, what is it? It is your body's response to its environmental interpretations, perceptions, beliefs, and influence. And these responses can be positive or negative. So when you feel stressed, you release certain biochemicals that we call hormones. And these biochemicals can either put you in a flight or fight mode. And if these biochemicals remain in your body without you dissipating them 100%, they become toxins. And those toxins turn to poison. And they begin to destroy your cells, your organs, and every aspect of your internal biology. So there are 4 notes on the stress spectrum. Number 1 is either you are hypostressed, that is, you are at the low end of the spectrum. That can be a problem. Or you are eustressed. That is a good one. There is hyperstress. You are pushing yourself beyond your limits. And then there is distress. And that is when you suffer anguish, agony, pain, affliction, and disease. There are 3 types of stress. There's continuous stress, there's chronic stress, and there's deadly stress. Turn to your neighbor, say deadly stress. So what are the sources of stress? Number 1 is your environment. Say environment. So there's environmental stress. Now, Lagos State has been declared as the 3rd most stressful city in the world. Did you hear what I just said? Lagos State, according to CNN, has just been declared as the world's 3rd most stressful city after Afghanistan and Syria. 2 war-torn nations. So without the war in Afghanistan and Syria, the implication is that Lagos is the most stressful city in the world. You're clapping. implications of a stressful environment leads to the next expression of stress, which is mental and physical stress, and also emotional stress. Mental stress is the stress that we experience at work. We have so many deadlines. We have so many problems that we're trying to solve. We're exhausted. We are frustrated. There's too much pressure. Can anyone relate? Yeah, mental stress. Ask your neighbor, are you mentally stressed? Because mental stress creates a lack of productivity at work. And when certain people are having fertility issues, lack of production of children, the doctor will ask you, are you stressed? So stress hinders fertility. And mental stress invariably breaks down your body. So a lack of work-life harmony and balance is also a major source of mental stress. And then we've talked about environmental stress. We've talked about mental stress. We've talked about physical stress. I want to talk about emotional stress. Grief, mood swings, fatigue, depression, distress. Stressfulness breaks you down. It causes many biological disorders and disease. And I'm going to further break this down as we go on. One of the other reasons why many people are stressed is because 92% of people fail every year to achieve their goals. Only 8% of people year in, year out achieve their goals. Because self-actualization is at the highest of all human needs. When people fail, they are stressed. And that failure creates critical emotions. And these are the 10 most common emotions that people feel every year when they don't attain their goals, their aspirations, and their dreams. Number one, a lot of people are disappointed and they feel defeated. Number three, they are sad and ashamed. They are depressed and they experience regret. They are often frustrated and discouraged. They feel inadequate and angry. Can anyone relate? You don't want to tell the truth. Now, the lack of harmony and the lack of life balance is also at the heart of a lot of stress that many people feel. A lot of people don't look at their lives holistically. There are 12 dimensions to every human life. There is the dimension of your home and family. There is the dimension of your relationship or your marriage. There is the dimension of your health and well-being. There is a dimension of your finance or your money. There is a dimension of your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and your self-belief. There is the dimension of fun, recreation, and rest. There is the dimension or expression of work, career, or if you're in business. There is a dimension of friendships and relationships and networks. There is a dimension of energy, passion, and purpose. There is the dimension of security and spirituality. There is the dimension of achievement and success. And lastly, the 12th dimension is the dimension of peace and contentment. And for you to master stress, you need to look at your life holistically and operate from those 12 dimensions. And so, a lot of people's lives are out of whack. A lot of people focus on work. They focus on aspiring to succeed to the detriment of their marriage, to the detriment of their health, to the detriment of meeting the need of fun, recreation. A lot of people's lives are out of balance and out of harmony. And so, in their lives, they feel stressed. And so, talking about emotional stress, I'm going to zero into depression because the WHO has just declared that depression by the year 2020 will be the world's second deadliest disease and source of disability, and by the year 2030, depression will be the world's #1 killer. But before I get into depression, I want to talk about a sedentary lifestyle. Everybody say sedentary lifestyle. Do you know that, he's laughing. Do you know that sitting and sitting too much is the cause of disease such as heart diseases, chronic lower respiratory diseases, Alzheimer's diseases at the latter end of your life, and diabetes? A lot of us sit for between 60 to 75% of 24 hours every day. In fact, by the time you are 70 years old, some of you would have sat in front of the TV for between 4 to 9 years of your life. Some of you would have sat in class and at work for between 18 to 20 years of your life. And some of you would have sat in traffic for between 5 to 9 years of your life. No wonder Lagos is one of the most stressful cities in the world. So approximately you are sitting for between 28 to 38 years. That's even if you live up to 70. Some of you have slept 6 years to 8 years. So if we add 6 years to 38 years, that's 44, which means you have 36 years to do the work that you have to do. Many people are living very sedentary lifestyles. Our bodies are breaking down daily from obesity, cancer, depression, based on what scientists and doctors have called the sitting disease. And you are still sitting down. I thought you'd be standing by now. Now, just continuously sitting for between 2 to 4 hours every day can put your metabolic system at risk. It can drop your good cholesterol by 20 to 30%. It can reduce blood flow to very vital areas of your body. It can raise your blood sugar. That is just sitting for between 2 to 4 hours a day. Turn to your neighbor, say, Shotigbo. According to the Mayo Clinic, for people who sit all day, their risk of heart attack is about the same as those who are chain smokers. That's right. So you don't smoke, but you sit. Will not be the same. So I developed a program. I call it the 55-5 rule. Every 55 minutes, stand up and walk for 5 minutes. Stand up and stretch for 5 minutes, because that could be a life saver. Everybody say 55-5 rule. So let me zero in on depression. What is depression? But before I define what depression is, let me tell you what depression is not. So depression is not feeling down, it's not feeling low, it's not feeling upset, it's not feeling unhappy or sad sometimes. Depression is not just a mood that an individual can choose to go into or snap out of. Depression is not the blue syndrome. Depression is not sadness or grief. Like I said, depression will be the world's #2 killer by 2020 and the world's #1 killer by 2030. Clinical depression is a physical, emotional, and spiritual intense state that can negatively affect and infect your life long term. Depression can be very unhealthy. It can rob you of meaning in life. Depression can inhibit one's personal growth, achievement, and performance. Depression can lead to deep emotional anguish, pain, turmoil, despair. It can transition to despondency, hopelessness, and suicidal thoughts, talk, and behavior. And ultimately, depression can lead to suicide. But depression can be treated just as we can treat any other disease. 1 in 20 people globally suffer from depression. That is 350 million people in the world. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oops. 1, 2. By the time we count, we'll find out that in this room, we've got at least 20 people that are depressed. Women are twice likely to be affected by depression than men. Sorry, women. 10 to 15% of women have postpartum depression. Depression is the leading cause of suicide. Every 40 seconds, somebody commits suicide somewhere all around the world, including Nigeria. More men commit suicide than women, but more women are depressed. In Nigeria now, suicide is one of the 3 leading causes of death amongst the ages 15 to 44. Suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst ages 10 to 24. 15 out of 100,000 people in Nigeria is suicide prone. Nigeria is the 30th most suicide prone nation in the world. Nigeria is the 10th most suicide nation in Africa. So what are the symptoms of depression? Persistent and intense feelings of helplessness, extreme sadness, emptiness, hopelessness, uncontrollable crying, anxiety, panic attacks, low self-esteem, lack of self-worth, lack of energy or low energy, sleeping disorders, you're sleeping too much, eating disorders, unexplainable physical and emotional aches and pain, extreme withdrawal syndromes. You are with people, but you feel lonely, so loneliness, feelings of guilt, restlessness, irritation, anger, emotional instability, loss of interest, loss of passion, loss of pleasure in the things that you used to be passionate about, fixation on the past or things gone wrong, fatigue and extreme fatigue, weight gain suddenly, weight loss suddenly, difficulty in focusing and concentrating, compelling recurrent limiting beliefs, limiting thoughts. So what I want you to do for me is stretch out this hand. Good. Put it down. Calm down. So what I want you to do for me is I want you to think about 2 events that have happened to you in the past. One positive one and one negative one. Maybe the first time you hammer. That time where you blew. Can't remember. Something very positive. Just find one event. Can you recall? Fantastic. How did you feel then?
Good. Really good.
You felt really good.
Yeah.
How else did you feel?
Blood rush.
You had a good positive rush, okay. So think of a negative event that happened to you. Maybe that time she broke your heart. That chick. So I don't want to go out with you because of your rasta. Because, my daddy would think that you're a bad boy. No woman has ever... All right, he's a tough guy. Don't mind him. All right, let's leave that, man. Maybe you lost money. Just find a very intense negative event. You found one? I won't ask you what it is. Don't worry. It's not your business. You people are Gbebo. We won't tell them what it is. You found one. Very intense, negative. All right. Good. So what I want you to do is I'm going to do a muscle test for you. Right? And what we're simply going to do is you're going to stretch out your hand, stretch out your fingers, and I'll tap you on the shoulder and I'll say resist with 2 fingers. So if I want to pull it down, resist it. Right? So you're not resisting.
Oh, okay.
You resist. Agbára. Kò ságbára tó dàbí ti Jésù. Calm down. Right. So I want you to find a sport right there. And I want you, just look at that sport. Just look at the sport. And I want you to reflect and go into that positive event. So experience it in its entirety, as if it was happening in real time. And I want you to feel good, feel empowered, just the way you felt that day. And with that strength, resist. Wow, his muscles are working well with a positive thought. Right? Calm down now. Where disgrace me. All right, step back a bit. Good. And I want you to find another spot. Yeah? And then stretch out your hand. And I want you to focus on the negative event. Just open your eyes and focus on the negative event. I want you to recall every single thing that happened. Just focus. Don't get distracted. Recall every single emotion. You felt down, you felt dejected, you felt deflated, you felt weak. Be strong. So his muscles cannot operate simply because of an event that happened in the past that I got him to recall the emotion. Thank you very much. Now, that was just focusing or recollecting a negative event in 1 minute. His muscles could not function. So imagine holding that emotion for 1 day. Imagine holding it for 1 week. Imagine holding it for 1 month. Imagine holding it for 1 year. Imagine holding someone in unforgiveness for 5 years. What you are doing to your body. You are killing yourself softly. Turn to your neighbor and say that your health is in your hands. That's right. Now, 50%, that is 1 in 2 marriages, are failing because of emotional stress. Globally. 7 out of 10 marriages are ending up in one form of separation or the other in Nigeria because of depression and emotional stress. So what are we going to do now that we have heard? Ask your neighbor, Kilamashi. Ask him, Kilamashi. What are we now going to do? I'm going to share 5 things quickly. Number 1, I already shared it. Every 55 minutes, make sure you get up, you stretch, or you do exercise, or you walk. Every 55 minutes. Turn to your neighbor. Say, every 55 minutes, make sure you get up from your seat, you walk around, and you stretch. The second thing that you need to do is you need to change your thinking. Because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Your biology corresponds to your psychology. Man becomes what he thinks. Your health mirrors your thoughts. Your health mirrors your emotions. And so if you do not want to fall ill, you've got to constantly be thinking positive and holding positive emotions. You've got to change your thoughts. Unfortunately, people are asking how. Every human being has and runs approximately 60,000 thoughts a day. 30% of those thoughts are general thoughts. What am I going to wear to work next week? Oh, when I get home, there will be no light, so I have to quickly iron. Oh, I have a deadline on this project next week. They are general recurrent thoughts that you have every day, every week. You consistently have them. Unfortunately, 75% of the rest of your thoughts are negative, limiting, disempowering thoughts, which provoke and release negative, limiting, and disempowering emotions. Now, if I process 60,000 thoughts a day and 75% of them are negative, then how can I track all of those thoughts? There is a model. We call it the mood model. There are only two moods, positive or negative, right? Good. Anytime you are in a positive mood, you had a positive thought. So you are fine. Anytime you are in a negative mood, you've thought something negative or you have a negative emotion. So you track that one. And immediately you are in that negative mood, ask yourself, what did I just think? What did I just see? What did I just hear? Because you must have seen something, you must have heard something, or you must have allowed a negative emotion to result from what you saw, what you heard, or what you thought. And instantly what you need to do is to begin to think the opposite and replace that thought, that negative thought, with a positive opposite of that thought. So let's say you think, let's say you think, I'm poor. I'm broke. And then that puts you in a negative mood. The opposite of it is not, I am not broke. Did you hear? It's not, I am not poor. Because your subconscious mind that takes that instructions, interprets it, and gives meaning to it, does not take negative instructions. So let me give you an instruction now. Don't think about this black mic. 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 What are you thinking about? Think about a red mic instead of a black mic. Think about a red microphone. Think about a red, beautiful, lovely microphone. Think about a red microphone. What are you thinking about? That's why the Bible taught us, let the weak say I'm strong, not I am not weak. Let the poor say I am rich, not I am not poor. Let the weak or the ill or the sick say I'm healed, not I am not sick. You must identify what you want. You must think it. You must focus on it. And then that will put you in a positive mood. It is not about what you don't want. And that's a problem that a lot of people have with their thoughts. So always think what you want instead. And always focus your thoughts on positivity. The third thing is words. Our words frame our world. And even we are eavesdropping, ourselves are eavesdropping on our internal conversations and our conversations with ourselves and our conversations with people. So God created this entire world with words. God sustains the entire universe by the word of his power. And you are created in his image after his likeness. What are the words that you are constantly speaking? Even to somebody else. Remember, fire is hottest at its source. When you say to somebody you are an idiot, where is the Where is it coming from? That means you are the first idiot. Yes, I'm not kidding you. So, desist or resist from speaking or thinking those things. Even when you have an object that you want to attack. That's why the Bible says that believe and hope the best for all people. Because, he who do he, do he. So what words are you constantly hearing, even in music? Because music does not require your permission to invade your soul and your spirit. If we start to play Bakurumo here now, you will see that when you get home in the evening, you will just be singing Bakurumo, Bakurumo, Bakurumo. And you'll be wondering, Bakurumo, okay. I thought, sister, you are born again. You heard Bakurumo somewhere. So what you hear and that which you see, they are very, very critical. So your words are very, very powerful. Don't hang around people that have nothing positive to say. Don't stay in an environment of negative, toxic people that speak negative, that gossip. Ja, tell your neighbor, ja. The fourth thing that I want to teach you in terms of how to resolve and overcome emotional stress and depression is what I call boost your dose of dose. Everybody say boost your dose of dose. Yes, boost your dose of dose. Now, this will help you overcome environmental stress. It will help you overcome mental and physical stress. It will help you overcome emotional stress. Now, what is dose? Let's go to the next slides. What is dose? And how can dose and a dose of it help you overcome all of these stresses? Next slide, next slide, next slide. Next slide. Yes. Now, dose of D-dopamine, dose of O-oxytocin, dose of S-serotonin, and dose of E-endorphins will help you overcome environmental stress, mental and physical stress, and emotional stress on a daily basis. Now, how do I inject myself, or how do I infuse a dose of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins into my system every day? There are specific things that you do. So, if you look at dopamine, for example, dopamine plays a very important role in your attention, focus, concentration, memory, mood, learning, sleep, movement. Dopamine, the right dose of it in your system, motivates you and drives you to be competitive, to achieve a lot of stuff. A deficiency in dopamine results in a lack of drive, a lack of motivation. You are bored and depressed. You are very impulsive. You have mental and physical fatigue. You lack focus and concentration. You constantly have sugar and carbohydrate cravings. When you start to crave sugar, eba, rice, your dopamine level is low. You have trouble waking up, or you are struggling with waking up in the morning. You have cold hands and cold feet. You have low sex libido. Then you need to boost your dose of dopamine. And to boost your dose of dopamine, you eat foods that are rich in tyrosine. Everybody say tyrosine. Banana. Say banana. Avocado, chicken, nuts, beans, fish. Very, very important. Make sure you have one of those in your diet each day. Fish, chicken, banana, almonds, avocado, beans. Very, very important. The second thing that you need to do is to exercise at least 3 times a week. Everybody say exercise. Exercise. The third thing that you need to do is to meditate. Everyone say meditate. Meditation was prescribed by God to Joshua for good success. We're talking about good health. How can you be successful without good health? Meditation is key. Massage. Everybody say massage. Get a massage from time to time. Eh? Are we saved there? Good sleep. Good sleep. Good sleep is very, very key. Then you listen to good soul music, not Jangrova music. Good soul. Everybody say good soul music. How do you boost your oxytocin? And what is oxytocin? Oxytocin is what we call the love hormone. It is a very powerful chemical. It helps us with social interactions. Oxytocin is released for married people during sex. Oxytocin is released during childbirth. Oxytocin is a natural drug that is good for women that want to give birth. What are the tips to boosting your oxytocin level? Increase your level of empathy. Increase your level of warmth and trust. Increase your level of creativity. Improve your self-perception in social situations and interactions. Serotonin. Everybody say sero. It helps regulate your mood. It helps regulate your social behavior. It helps regulate your appetite. It helps with your sleep. It helps your memory. It helps balances your emotions. Low serotonin leads to depression. Serotonin reduces depression tendencies. It regulates anxiety and worry. It makes you heal if you have an injury fast. It maintains bone health. How do you boost your serotonin? Reduce your sugar intake. Stay emotionally calm even through provocative situations. Eat foods that are high in protein. Take a walk early in the morning, at least minimum 30 minutes, between 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Take a walk early in the morning. Get a good dose of early morning vitamin D, or take food supplements inclusive with vitamin D. Hug, touch, and interact physically with people. Hug. Hug, touch, and physically interact with people. Reduce hugging of mobile phone, hugging of tablets and computer. It makes you socially awkward, and it reduces your level of serotonin. And lastly is endorphins. Endorphins are responsible for our feelings of excitement, contentment, and satisfaction. Endorphins help us cope with stress and pain. Endorphins are called feel-good hormones. How do you boost your endorphin levels? Eat foods that are spicy from time to time. Ata. Tell your neighbor ata. All these butter people. You have to learn to eat spicy foods. To boost your endorphin levels, use natural lavender fragrances and just sprinkle on your pillow. Dance. Everybody say dance. Dance from time to time. Dance from time to time. Now, the last one is love. Everybody say love. Love more, hug more, show more kindness. Because the greatest commandment is love. Love for God and love for your neighbor, according to Matthew 22, 36 to 40. Love covers a multitude of sin. 1 Peter 4, 8. You owe no one anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. Romans 13, 8. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. John 3, 16. Beloved, Let us love one another, for love is from God. And whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, for God is love. 1 John 4, 7 to 8. So God is love, and love is healing. Everybody say, God is love, and love is healing. Let me share with you some health benefits of love. Love helps you reduce stress. All of those stresses that we've talked about, the more love you show, the more the stress reduces. Love promotes mental and emotional health. So there's absolutely, a lot of benefits that will help counter depression and suicidal thoughts if you genuinely love. And love is not goosebumps, giz. Love helps you suppress pain. Love improves your blood circulation. Love lowers your blood pressure and your cholesterol level. Love improves your brain capacity and your memory. Love reduces the risk of heart diseases. Love promotes a sense of security. And love raises your self-confidence, your self-belief, and your self-esteem. Can we all rise up? And let us all hold hands and say this affirmation with me. Everybody hold hands and say this affirmation with me. Everybody say, I am love. Love dwells within me. Love and I, we are one. Love, empathy, and kindness manifest through me every moment. I love and I treat others and myself with respect, with honor, and with dignity. I therefore attract only honor, respect, and dignity. I am not envious or jealous. I do not parade myself. I am not puffed up or prideful. I am humble. I do not behave unseemly or rude. I behave responsibly, and I am polite. I do not seek my own. I am selfless. I am not easily provoked. I am patient. I do not think negative or ill of people. I believe and I hope the best for all people. I do not rejoice in injustice. I rejoice in truth. I have empathy. I see as people see. I hear them and I feel them. I do not take advantage of weaker people. I acknowledge the good in them and I also strengthen them. I am not resentful or critical. I do not live in fear or guilt. I live in perfect love. Hence I conquer all. I do not live in unforgiveness. I release and I forgive all wrongs done to me. I bear all things. I endure all things. I hope all things wonderful. And I believe all things positive. I am affectionate. I am compassionate. And I am kind in words and deed. I never fail to love. I love all. And I am loved by all. I live to love. And I love to live. Today and every day. So what I want you to do for me is I want you to go to 10 people. I want you to hug them and tell them I love you. Go to 10 people. 10 people, hug them and tell them I love you. Go to 10 people, hug them and tell them I love you. Go to 10 people, hug them, and tell them, I love you. 10 people. 10 people. Tell them you love them. Operator, can you hear me take the slides back? Just keep going back. I'll tell you where to stop. The slides, just keep going back. The slides. Keep going, keep hugging, keep hugging. Keep going back. Just keep going. Just keep going back. I'll tell you where to stop. Keep hugging, keep hugging, keep hugging, keep hugging, keep hugging. Keep going back. I'm going to the slide for the free coaching. The slide that has free coaching. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Keep going. Yeah. Just before this one. Yes, sir, you may hug me. Yes. I love you too. All right. So I want to gift everybody something. I've got 100 coaches that are sitting on a platform, and I've been coaching people for free for the last 18 days. We've got another 20 days to go, and I want you to benefit from it. So we're coaching on a platform called Coach Me. There are life coaches there that will coach you for the next 20 days for free in the 4 areas of your life. If you want to get coached for life and success, for stress and emotions, for relationships, sex and marriage, for your career, your business, or your finances, just next slide. Just take the next 9 steps. Next slide. Next slide. Log on to www.coachme.lifezone.org. On the top right-hand corner, just click Start Coaching. And then follow the next set of steps. You get coached for the next 20 days for free. After the 20 days, you will pay. You better take advantage. So, take that website, www.coachme.lifezone. Lifezone is XONE.org. Now, the Boost Your Dose of Dose that I shared, we're sharing 37 tips every day. We started on the 1st of August and we end on the 9th of September. So we're on day 19 now. For you to benefit from those tips on a daily basis, just go follow me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. Simple, at Lanre Olusola. No H in the Olusola. One word, at Lanre Olusola. And then you will get these tips every day. Now, I want to beg you, I want to ask you to please share those tips with your friends, your followers, your family. Because just one tip may save a life. Remember, since when I've been speaking, about 50 minutes ago, right? Over 12 people have committed suicide. It is important for us to be our brother's keepers. And depression doesn't have a label, and oftentimes people don't know. And depression often leads to suicide. In fact, depression is the number 1 cause of suicide. So are you promising that you're going to be your brother's keeper? Share a tip a day with your brothers. And together, let us kick depression and suicide out of Nigeria. Together, let us build a community and an environment of strong and mentally healthy people. May the Lord bless and increase you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord lift up the light of his countenance and give you prosperity, peace, and a sound mind in the name of Jesus. Amen.